After the events of the first movie, The Nun's Curse from 2018, 4 years have passed, and the story unfolds not in Romania, but in France in 1956. The main character, Maurice, is still under the influence of the demon Valak, who possessed him at the end of the first part.
Tomorrow, a village will be missing its idiot.
This time Valak goes on a European tour to find an ancient relic that will give him incredible power. The demon targets priests and nuns, killing them. In doing so, he attracts the attention of his old friend, Sister Irene. The Vatican decides to send the nun to investigate this series of murders and find out what Valak wants and how to stop him.
I know why it's here. I saw what it wants.
Irene and her assistant Deborah infiltrate the boarding house where Maurice works as a laborer. They must be the first to find Relic and send Valak to hell.
She's standing there.
Faith becomes their main weapon in a battle. But not only that helps Irene, she has an unexpected supernatural trick. Sister Irene did not accidentally get involved in this demonic story. She is closely connected to Valak. In 2018, the first part of The Nun's Curse wasn't a perfect solo film for Valak, but overall it was an interesting story for fans. Visually, the film was stylish, with shocking moments like scenes with Valak in a mirror showcasing all its powers. There were other gripping moments like the graveyard scene with the priest and the bloody party in the final battle. Although the story's plot was filled with horror cliché, it stuck with the audience. The second part became even more complicated, with the chaotic transitions between plotlines. However, each of the stories has its own appeal, revealing crucial details about Conjuring Universe. They provide explanations for Irene's powers and the other movie secrets, giving some meaning to the mystical narrative. Unfortunately, The Nun's Curse 2 wasn't as scary as one might expect.
Not even God.
Must retire this jump scare from all horror movies.
The European tour added a new scale to the movie Nun II. However, the abundance of locations deprived the film of the dark gothic atmosphere from the first part, where we wandered through airy corridors of the Romanian St. Carta Abbey. In the sequel, we don't get to settle into new places, and due to intertwining of stories, many of them are forgettable. The jump scares are predictable and standard, failing to evoke fear in horror fans. In the first part of The Nun II, Valak is almost invisible. He still kills though, turns off the lights and throws objects around, but often takes on different forms. Bonnie Aron's portrayal of Valak fails to impress. Valak's behavior seems lazy and uncreative, lacking the terrifying threat as if he's just playing around. If you want to remember how scary the demon nun is, it's better to watch The Conjuring 2, where the director Wan reveals her power.
And I do know your name. You are Valak.
The Nun II director Michael Chaves couldn't live up to the Van's legacy, creating a tasteless addition to the franchise and turned Valak into a ridiculous character.
Save me, sister.
The final battle is the strongest moment in The Nun II, although it falls short of the epic ending of the first part. Watching this battle is nerve-wracking, unlike the rest of the dull chase after Valak. The demon attacks fiercely, and the main heroine Irene resists him. The collision has expected highs and lows, but it still generates excitement. The most emotions come from the outstanding performances of Taissa Farmiga and Jonas Bloquet, not the horror on the screen. The writers and directors forgot about fear, and only their talent brings life to this incomplete work. In the final part of The Nun II, evil is unquestionably defeated. Valak is sent to the internal abyss, where he will finally rest from his routine of haunting priests and nuns. Meanwhile, money continues to pour into the box office, and the conveyor belt of the similar horror films will keep running. It's worth noting that The Nun managed to earn 365.5 million with a budget of 22 million, making it the most successful film in the Conjuring franchise universe. We can only hope that James Wan might show some sympathy for the fading spin-off series and give it some attention. Breaking down the scene after the credits of The Nun II. In the middle of the credits, they showed the Warrens at their home in Connecticut. This same place was featured in the final scenes of The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, directed by Michael Chaves, who is also the director of the new The Nun II movie. Father Gordon, played by Steve Coulter, called the Warrens, seeking their help with the paranormal issues, as he often does. The priest turned to the Warrens again for assistance, and the specific case he proposed will likely be revealed in the upcoming film The Conjuring Last Rites. The post-credit scene in The Nun II is actually a deleted episode from The Conjuring 3, which could have served as its ending. Chaves decided to conclude The Conjuring 3 with a kiss between the Warrens instead of the phone conversation. James Wan, the creator of the Conjuring franchise, hinted that the fourth chapter of the Warren story will be the final one. The plot could be based on any of the real cases of the Warrens handled in the 1980s as the events of the third installment unfolded during the early years of that decade. Since at the end of The Conjuring 3 they were in Connecticut, they might confront the ghost in Snedeker House in Connecticut in potential The Conjuring 4. Alternatively, Valak might return for a rematch with the Warrens in The Conjuring 4. And now another question that probably many of us ask ourselves. Will there be The Nun 3? And when will The Conjuring 4 be released? And what else can we expect from a cinematic universe? Warner Brothers has not yet confirmed The Nun 3. If the second film is successful, a sequel is likely hinted at by the ambitious fate of Maurice, who was possessed by Valak in the 1960s. The director Michael Chaves reminded that the Warrens expelled Valak from Maurice in the late 1960s, suggesting that many stories about the nun demon could be explored. The movie The Conjuring, The Final Rites, does not have a premiere date yet. Production on the horror film began in the fall of 2022. The second part, 2016, was released 3 years after the premiere of the first 2013 part, and fans waited 5 years for the third from 2021, originally scheduled for 2020. It can be speculated that The Conjuring 3 will be released worldwide 4 years after the third in 2025. However, due to Hollywood strikes involving actors and writers, production may be delayed. In the spring of 2023, it was announced that the series based on The Conjuring will be produced. This will be a continuation of the main series of the film, so we can expect Warrens, their daughter, or friends of the couple. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hit that like button if you liked it, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment, and see you in the next episode.
2, 3.